Tonight, a blow for aged care in Whyalla, with one of the facilities preparing to shut, and a strategy launched to protect South Australian communities from bushfires.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. More than 30 aged care residents in Whyalla are facing an uncertain future, with Kindred Living to close the Annie Lockwood Hostel. The company's CEO says the sudden loss of more than 10 skilled nurses this year has forced them into the heartbreaking decision.
A sector already stretched to the limit, now facing more pressure. Kindred Living announcing today the closure of its Annie Lockwood Court Hostel facility. The families of 37 residents now looking for alternative accommodation.
It's a very tough decision for the board, and one that we've grappled with for most of this year, and it is absolutely a last resort.
The centre has been plagued with major issues relating to the standard of care provided to residents. Earlier this year, the company was threatened with sanctions due to a scabies outbreak. The CEO blaming staff shortages.
But if we don't continue to have an appropriate workforce, then we could end up with further non-compliance.
In a letter obtained by 7 Spencer Golf News, Kindred Living has cited a stream of nurses going to Whyalla Hospital to run vaccination clinics as a reason for closure, saying the loss of 15 skilled nurses in 6 months is impossible to replace. The organisation also outlining reasons why staff left, including high workload, staff ratios and pay. The reaction from politicians and community leaders regarding the closure of the facility has been swift. The member for Giles calling the decision unacceptable.
We've got aged residents in a nursing home having to move to other communities.
He wants the federal government to intervene to keep the centre open. The member for Grey says that's not possible.
We just cannot go down that pathway. We have a duty of care to these people. And if Eddie's got any good ideas on what the federal government could do, well, I'm all ears.
The city's mayor says the closure is devastating.
Council is concerned, and we will be asking to meet with management of Kindred Living.
Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A petition has been launched to stop Pfizer doses being taken from regional New South Wales and given to Sydney school students. The Shooters, Farmers and Fishers petition calls the move inequitable and city-centric, demanding the decision be immediately reversed.
In a climate where government is encouraging people to get vaccinated, pushing back the date of vaccinations that are already booked in is not helpful.
It makes a difference to those Year 12 students, but in the scheme of things, it's not a lot to redirect, and we've had to be innovative.
No first doses of Pfizer will be given at Broken Hill's vaccine clinic for at least 2 weeks. The South Australian Government has released the first ever state bushfire management plan. The landmark document outlines plans to safeguard communities that live under the constant threat of a blaze during the summer.
It's a threat our region knows too well. But with recent bushfire seasons showing a change in their intensity, South Australia's response now has to adapt.
The 1925 season was unprecedented, but now that it's happened, we can't say unprecedented anymore, so we have to prepare for it.
A new state bushfire management plan has been released, outlining measures that will create greater bushfire resilience and safety.
The whole community works together, all government agencies, local government, non-government agencies, allied agencies, and the community. And so this state plan is about drawing those people together.
An extra $100 million in additional funding also announced, helping protect South Australians from the danger of bushfires.
Volunteers are amazing people, and they can only do their amazing work when they're well supported with good equipment, good training, and good facilities.
Local authorities already turning their eyes towards summer. They say the healthy rainfall our region has received so far this winter has the potential to increase the fire risk.
It does create that extra growth, though, and those extra risks, and so we'll monitor that pretty closely as we head into the warmer months.
The CFS encouraging residents in bushfire-prone areas to start preparing their property.
Those boundary breaks are really important, and slashing and maintaining those in around your crops or around your boundary fences is really important things that people can do.
Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Port Pirie Regional Council has released their draft business plan and budget for consultation. Taking advantage of upcoming projects in the Mid-North a major focus, with the Mayor eager for the community to have their say.
A plan in motion.
We're really looking forward to tying in some of the projects that have been around the area.
Port Pirie Council's draft business plan and budget for 2021-22 to 2023-24 has been made public for community consultation. Improving street appeal a key focus, with a number of new projects receiving funding. Council using the plan to prepare for the launch of the Southern Flinders Ranges National Park and Silver to Seaway.
I have what they call a step-off, where they come out of the ranges and just relax for a couple of days, and we want to position Port Pirie and Crystal Brook to be the home of that, so that they can sit and enjoy.
Main entrances into Port Pirie and the CBD can expect a revamp with the installation of low-maintenance plants and new cycling and walking trails. Council's also prioritising community wellbeing, which will involve collaboration with T-Lab and other allied health providers. A rate increase of 2.6% is being proposed, the average residential rate rising by $34 compared to $27 in the previous year.
It's about a 2.7% rise on rates, and that's sort of in line with what the averages are, around the 2.5 with government, state government.
A public meeting to discuss the plan will be held on August 17 at 6 p.m. at the Port Pirie Council Chambers. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A driver has copped a large fine after being caught speeding on the Horrocks Highway. Police alleged shortly after 10 a.m. on Wednesday, they detected a Ford Falcon travelling 143 in a 110 kilometre zone. A 41-year-old Port Pirie man was drug tested, returning a positive reading to cannabis. He was issued a $1,621 fine and 7 demerit points, also directed not to drive for 24 hours. He may face further penalties once his test is forensically analysed. Still to come tonight, South Australia to go horse racing this weekend, but without any crowds. And Far West farmers urged to look to the skies. Welcome back. Police are investigating a break-in and theft of 2 electric bikes from Port Pirie. Police say between 10:30 Saturday morning and Monday, a bike shop on Wandera Road was broken into and 2 adventure electric bikes were stolen. Anyone with information that can assist with the investigation is being urged to contact Crime Stoppers or make a report online. South Australia's racecourses will look a little lonely this coming weekend, despite the lockdown being lifted earlier this week. No patrons will be allowed on the course for race meetings, trials or track work.
The state lockdown has ended, but the caution remains. All South Australian thoroughbred racing activities are being limited to essential racing personnel only, with no spectators allowed on courses. Officials say restrictions will protect the industry by limiting potential exposure to coronavirus between racing industry officials and the general public.
The ultimate goal is to maintain the racing industry, keep it operational, because should we have any exposures, then we may well go into a situation where we don't have any racing, and then it will be an even worse scenario.
Those who are allowed on site will have to follow strict COVID-safe guidelines, including wearing masks on race days.
It's a pretty awkward situation for everyone. Racing SA has decided that it's much safer to maintain that industry by not having any interaction with the general public on race courses.
The changes will affect Saturday's races at Morphett Vale and Port Augusta's Publicans Race Day on Sunday.
I got the all clear, so we'll follow all the rules and regulations that we have to go through. So it's good to keep racing.
Patrons and spectators will be permitted back on the course from Wednesday the 4th of August 2021, with all bookings to be made directly through the clubs. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Blue sky thinking is helping graziers in the Far West, with aerial technology making life on the land easier. Aircraft have just finished a major baiting project, while graziers have been encouraged to take to the skies with drones.
taking farming to new heights. Compact and affordable, drones are playing an ever-increasing role in agriculture.
There's been a lot of interest in the area in using drones for a number of purposes, whether that's mustering, checking waters, taking maps.
Western Local Land Services is hoping more graziers will adopt the technology. Its advantages obvious on vast stations in the far west.
There's a lot of interest in people flying the drone around the area, seeing if there is any sheep there and then reducing the amount that they have to travel.
LLS will be holding mapping courses and field days to understand and monitor how drones can be used in local settings.
It's quite common to be using drones in cropping regions, and that's becoming highly adopted, but there hasn't been a lot of investment in terms of research into how it can be used in this kind of pasture environment.
One of the largest wild dog baiting programs in the Western region has just wrapped up, covering an area of more than 11 million hectares. More traditional aircraft making light work of a big job.
It could be a whole day, it could be a couple of days, even a week's worth of work, to distribute them all over the place. So an aircraft is obviously the no-brainer.
New technology meaning for those on the land, the sky really is the limit. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Lions Medical Research Foundation is bringing their skin cancer screening van to the Eyre Peninsula. Volunteers from the Port Lincoln Lions Club will be on hand to help the community, with the group urging locals to get their skin checked.
It's free, takes only a few minutes, and most importantly, it could save your life.
We had a huge percentage of people that had lesions that were suspect.
The Lions Medical Research Foundation will make a trip to our region next month. The Port Lincoln screening's taking place on August 7 and 8 at the Lions Hostel.
Our own screening program, and then raised money through Lions in South Australia and the Northern Territory to purchase a specially built unit which now travels around to the regional areas to undertake the screenings.
The screening is from head to toe, as lesions can be found in unexpected places.
It's very important to get that all checked to make sure that there's nothing there that's serious.
Skin cancer is commonly caused by overexposure to UV radiation, with Australia having one of the highest rates in the world. And with many missing warning signs, early detection is vital.
85% of skin cancers, if detected early, are quite treatable.
The service detecting 3,500 skin cancers over the past 5 years.
If we can save one life through this, we've done our job.
Imperative for people's health. It's just another part of the health promotion and preventative medicine that everybody should be thinking about.
To book, ring the Lions Club on 0459 660 901. It could be the most important call you make. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. South Australian businesses urged to take advantage of emergency grants. And the cost of invasive species to the South Australian economy revealed. South Australia's government is urging businesses to take advantage of emergency cash grants. Premier Stephen Marshall announced a $100 million business support package earlier this month. Eligible small to medium-sized enterprises can receive $3,000 and $1,000 payments. Micro businesses not registered for GST are also eligible for Commonwealth support of up to $600. Applications will close on September 30. 2 of Australia's leading shellfish companies will join forces to build upon an oyster spat hatchery near Port Lincoln. Yumba Aquaculture has announced it will acquire the Tasmanian-based oyster farming company Cameron. The move will see them become one of the country's biggest shellfish producers. It follows Yumba's purchase of Victorian mussel growers Bay Sea Farms earlier this year. A Flinders University study has revealed invasive species are costing the Australian economy billions of dollars. The report's author urging governments to work together to bring the issue under control. Edward McCarroll has more.
A new study has found that in the last 60 years, deliberately and accidentally introduced invasive species have caused billions of dollars worth of damage to the Australian economy.
390 billion Australian dollars. That's what invasive species have cost this country since the 1960s. Today, because the costs have been growing exponentially, we're spending at least $19 billion per year.
The findings reveal feral cats are the single most expensive individual species in Australia, with European rabbits and red imported fire ants rounding out the top three. But it's plants doing the most damage, with the cost of managing invasive flora growing.
So we're talking weeds here that can cost upwards of $200 billion over time.
Plants such as ryegrass, heliotrope and broomgrass are the biggest culprits in South Australia. The Flinders Uni study also revealing that the final bill for fixing the nationwide issue is likely to rise, unless biosecurity, surveillance and eradication efforts are increased.
But if we tackle our biosecurity better and we have better management options available, we can get on top of the biggest costs.
Professor Bradshaw says each state has its own challenges, so coordinated interventions and reporting between can help in combating introduced pests.
Tickets are now available for next month's York and Mid-North Economic Summit. This year's summit, Ground Truthing Our Future, will be based around the region's opportunities post-COVID-19, including the new Southern Flinders Ranges National Park. The focus will be on driving and supporting a regional economy through creating new jobs. The event will take place at the Port Pirie Sports Function Centre on September 16. More information can be found online. Residents in Whyalla are advised the dog park will be closed for weeding from 7 a.m. next Tuesday. The works are part of the City Council's general maintenance plan, with crews using a general broadleaf herbicide. The works will conclude on Wednesday afternoon, but Council says the closure will go beyond the recommended time to reopen as a precaution to keep the public and their furry friends safe. People will be able to access the park with their dogs by next Friday. Stay with us after the break. We preview the footy action in Broken Hill. And we'll have the weekend weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. South Australia's footy leagues are still on the sidelines due to COVID-19, but Broken Hill Footy is continuing its race towards the finals. Here's a preview of this weekend's matches.
We get to round 15 of local football in Broken Hill, and last start winners, North plays South at Alma Oval. Can North repeat their effort of last week when they knocked off West? I don't think so. It would be an Olympic-sized performance to even get near South. South are the top team, they'll win comfortably. West plays Central. Central trouble the Robins, but they won't trouble them tomorrow. West will win. The winners this weekend, West and South, to reaffirm their top spots on our local ladder.
And with the weekend almost upon us, let's take a look at what the weather across Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill is looking like. Here's Alex Sykes with the details.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. Well, Friday brought with it some beautiful conditions, but the weekend will see some rain. I'll have more detail on that a little later. From 3 p.m. today, Port Pirie was partly cloudy and 22, Clare was 18, and Cooper Pedy was sunny and 25 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta and Whyalla both partly cloudy and 25 degrees. Broken Hill, Kadina, Cleve and Port Lincoln all 21. Adelaide was 19 and Woodna was 22 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud crossing South Australia is mainly high cloud and is only bringing the odd spot of light rain to the east where cloud is a little thicker in a trough. The cloud combined with gusty northerly winds will also reduce the risk of frost developing overnight, mostly clear in the far north. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas around 1 to 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell 1 to 1.5 metres. Rain at times in Port Lincoln, Cleveland, Woodner, all 17 degrees there. Whyalla rain increasing 21. Port Augusta set to reach a high of 24 and Kadina will top 17 degrees. Port Pirie to reach 20, Clare to top 17 and Broken Hill will get to a max of 24 degrees. And on Sunday, partly cloudy for Cooper Pedy and Whyalla. Rain across the rest of the region. Temperatures in the mid to high teens and low 20s. Looking further into next week now, sunny for Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill on Monday. Windy for Whyalla. Cloud for Port Augusta. Rain across the rest of the region. Temperatures in the mid to high teens and similar conditions forecast for Tuesday. Cloudy for Cooper Pedy, Broken Hill, Port Augusta and Whyalla. Rain across the rest of the region. Temperatures set to be in the mid to high teens. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's back to you, John.
Thanks, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can keep up with us on social media at Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I'm John Hunt. Thanks for your company this week. The news team will be back at our normal time on Monday of 7 p.m. Until then, have a great weekend. Good night.